What's happening, YouTubers? It's your boy CB, and we are back for my favorite segment on the channel, Huddle Watch Alongs with Recruits. If you can tell I'm smiling, you all know what that means. That means we have a playmaker on today's episode. For those of you that know me, you know that this smile is the biggest when there's a receiver on. 2026 four-star receiver Jaylen Pile is a absolute monster at receiver. A playmaker's playmaker can do it all. Vertical threat, can run the full route tree, can give you the work in between the hashes, blocks his tail off, and is literally a walking highlight. What I like to call a highlight waiting to happen. Committed to Michigan, obviously, like I said, is a four-star receiver in the 2026 class from Dallas, Texas, out here in my neck of the woods. But you don't want to hear from me. You want to hear from the superstar himself. Literally one of the most explosive playmakers, regardless of class, 2026 four-star receiver from out my neck of the woods, Parish Episcopal out here in Dallas. How's it going, bro?
This is going good, man. Thank you for having me on this. I really appreciate it.
So I appreciate you. Let's get right into it because it's been a busy year for you so far. Fantastic year. Before we get into some of the recruiting, let us know, people in the chat know, how's the season been going for you and the squad out there?
It's been going good. We're not sitting at the right record we wanted to right now. We're 5-4, so there's always room for improvement. Coming off of a tough loss against a good team, and we got a bye week this week, so we can regroup and get our strength back, and just game plan for our next game, because after this one it's going to be playoffs, and we got to hit the ground running if we're going to make a run for it. So
That gauntlet, bro, playing Texas high school football is no breaks.
oh
Week
yeah,
after week after week, you getting somebody who the matchups is this next college's star versus this next college's star on offense and defense. What is it like going through a grueling season like that? At this point, you're a pro at it, but for those listening that are from Michigan or from Florida or from that don't really understand what Texas football is like, give them a little glimpse into what it's like being a Texas high school football player.
oh man, it's the best football in the country, and I'll stand by that. Texas got the best athletes, best everything, and going up against Division I talent week in and week out really is just getting you ready for taking that step into the next level. Because when you go to college, everybody's going to be good, so it's better to play against those type of people in high school, so you can just go into college and hit the ground running. If you want to, try to start as a freshman, get playing time as a freshman. So all of that is really just preparing me for the next level.
And you have these programs that, like you said, prepare you for the next level to where you have a leg up, not just when it comes to on the field, in the classroom as well. You guys go to college incredibly prepared, not just to be a contributor as a freshman, but to still to uplift the program. All that matters at the end of the day. That GPA matters when they go recruit as well. That GPA matters for Michigan as well. So when they see a Jaylen Pile, they see a complete student athlete that they know has faced good competition, because boy come from Dallas, so he done face good competition, and he came from a coach that don't take no mess because he's a Texas high school football coach. So he's coached well, he's coached up. That's one of the things I always say is great when you do get a kid from Texas or a young man from Texas, is he understands the game and he has a different passion for the game, because the passion here is different. And you also know that he's battle tested, because week after week, like you said, you are playing somebody's starting corner, somebody's starting safety, SEC caliber football players at the next level. And you've been doing this for a while at this level now. What was it like when you were a bit of a younger receiver on varsity? Do you feel like there is a large difference in your game now versus, let's say, freshman Jaylen?
Ooh, freshman year, yeah, big jump. The speed of the game, because you're coming straight off of middle school, and that there's maybe one or two good players, but they play like running back or like linebacker, and you avoid them. It's really just like smooth. But when you go up to high school and playing and get pulled up to varsity, because got pulled up for the playoffs, it was going up against the starting defense for practice squad. So that was kind of like my first real introduction of like varsity football, and yeah, it's just the speed and the strength. Because you could be a 15-year-old, or in my case, when I was playing freshman, I was 14. 14-year-old going up against the 18-year-old at corner on a scout team, and you trying to give a good look, and they're trying to make a play, and you got to stop. You got to show them like, hey, I might be on the scout team, but I'm not going to be here for long. So it's really
How
just
much
the
do you
speed.
feel like that? how much you feel like that opportunity you had early, even if it's just to get the reps, like you said, against guys like that are going to be playing on Friday nights and that are going to be playing on Saturday nights, how much you feel like getting those reps early helped you develop as a receiver?
Oh, it helped me develop so much more, like in a mental space too, because these guys are going to be bigger and stronger than you and maybe even faster than you, so you got to find different ways to get open, use play to your strengths. And I mean, shoot, you practice with them all the time, so you kind of see what their weaknesses are and you can kind of play to their weaknesses while still giving them a good look, but still showcasing and showing your skills to that coach, to kind of, like I said before, show them like, yeah, I'm on practice squad right now, but I got the talent to go play. And that just really helped my development, and just gaining that mental toughness and just learning from everybody. Just learning from everybody.
What I like what you said about that is the mental side of it, because there is that moment when we have to realize, oh, like I belong out here. I'm not just out here to give a good look. I actually hold up, like I'm 14. I can that that move off the line got him. Like if this was a real situation, I got him off the line. You start to build that confidence in yourself that no, I truly do belong here. And that's a special thing, especially when you're younger. When you have that confidence, it allows you to play free. It allows you not to overthink when you're playing. So I like that you got the opportunity, even as a freshman, just to get out there and rub elbows and get to try different things against these DBs that are going to play on Saturdays. So sophomore year roll around and you're like, all right, I know what works and doesn't and don't work at this level. Now, like you said, it's just adjusting to the speed of the game.
Oh
So
yeah.
we go from adjusting to the speed of the game to one of the most highly coveted receivers in the 2026 class. For those of us that have not had that experience, how is that balancing it, bro? Take us back to before you decide to commit. How is it balancing the season, the work you want to put in outside, the film study you're going to do, trying to have a life, be a son, be a brother, be a best friend, be a boyfriend, and you're having to take visits. And how is that process trying to keep up with recruiting and just trying to be Jaylen at the end of the day?
Well, I love the recruiting. I love everything about it, man. Some people say they got tired and annoyed at all the texts and phone calls, but I was loving everything. Um, but just finding that good balance, because I got a really good mentor. He's my wide receiver coach, Margin Hooks. So he's been with me. I've been going to him since shoot. I think I was in eighth grade, like March
Mm.
of break of eighth grade. So he's been a really good mentor for me, and he's like my uncle. So it's not always just talking about football. It's just about life. And before I committed, I called him to see what it was, and he's like, it's a great opportunity for you. And I was like, you know what, coach, I appreciate that. Like, cause he's somebody who I've like opinion I value a lot. So, he's basically part of the family. And just finding that balance between, having your friends but still wanting to push and play football and watch the film, and um just really kind of be a football player and be a student too, because that's another big thing. You always got to be a student before athlete. And at Parrish it's nothing short of a college classes and everything and like that. So just kind of trying to find that little middle ground where you're still having fun with your friends and not getting swamped with homework, but you're still doing your homework on time, and then you got to go play football and train and do this, that, and the third. So that's I've been really just finding that balance, and I've been pretty good with it.
It's a lot to have to balance. But what I like what you said about that is you have somebody in your corner that not even just football, just on when the day is rough, I can pick up the phone and just, hey, look, I'm about to vent for 20 minutes. Like I'm just stressed or I'm frustrated. And it may not even be about ball, but you have somebody in your corner. For younger recruits out there going through this process, can you let them know how important it is just to have somebody that you can shut all the noise off and talk to, and he's giving you back the real, he's not telling you something to big up you, he's not trying to make you feel good about yourself. You can honestly just go to somebody even when it does feel like the noise is too much, and you got that person that's going to keep it 100 with you.
Always first is always going to be your parents, because they can be your biggest supporters, and they're going to tell you what the real is, because when you get to that age, it's no more gassing you up. They got to tell you
Yeah.
straight. But it's going to be my parents, Coach Hooks, but always it's going to be my little brother. Get you a sibling, because they tell you the real what it is. Your big, and they're going to be your biggest haters as well. So I
Yes.
I got a little brother. His name's Bryson. He's 8 years old, and man, one day he'll be, man, you're amazing, man. Why'd you double catch that ball? Like we don't do that. I'm like, bro, like
that boy stay on you Belichick style. He Nick Saban in the corner.
yeah,
You
and,
come home with a $178, 2 touchdowns. He's like, why wasn't it a $185? Like,
yeah,
hey.
like just things like that. That just keeps me on my toes because that's when like he truly like loves the game, and he loves me because he's showing that aptitude for the game at an early age, and just seeing it and seeing how I'm going through it, and hopefully all my stuff that I'm doing right now could rub off on him, and he can go through the same process. Get on an interview with you. Hopefully he can say the same thing like my
Oh,
big brother was.
he
So
gonna be a problem. He's sitting there diagnosing coverage already. He
oh
gonna
yeah,
be a problem because he understands. So he doesn't even realize it, but he's learning how to dissect the game from a 10-foot view, and he don't
oh,
realize that once he gets on the field, the game is gonna be slower for him already. He
man,
has no idea that he's giving himself. He think he watching you to see if you do good or not, but he watching now, realizing, hey, why'd you double catch that? Hey, why didn't you go inside? He's learning the game just because he's trying to be a good little brother and support his big brother. He gonna be a problem, and he definitely gonna be on here for an interview. He
he
gonna be a whole problem.
he already a problem. Like when we were younger, since like we're like 8 years apart. So like when I was 10 or not 10, I was 12 and he was like 4. We were just watching football and he like said a player's name. I was like, how do you know that player? Like you can give any player, he'll pull up bow. You go on his iPad, pull up the stats, pull up his college where he goes to. He already breaking down stuff
Oh,
like
he locked in. He locked
yes.
in.
During the summer when I was at football training and my little brother's home, him and my dad would just sit on the couch. My dad will airplay his computer to the screen and they'll just be breaking down old film. And my little brother understands it like real well,
Are
and he
you building a
plays.
monster?
Oh yeah, he's nice with it. Like
What does he
he
play?
when
What
I,
positions he play?
everything, everything.
Oh, come on. Let's go.
Wide receiver, DB, quarterback, running back. Like he gonna be playing tackle next year, so I'm gonna have to go repost his highlights. But I think I got a couple of his highlights posted on my Instagram. I think I
Send me
reposted.
them when we get off here. I
I
gotta
got
see
you.
that.
Oh,
I
now he
gotta
cold.
see that. So family's clearly a big thing with you. You can see you start talking about your brother lit up. So you got to do something this year that every kid dreams of when they pick up a football, and that's committing to a big time blue blood D1 program, one of the greatest college football institutions in the history of the game. What was that like for you and the family, bro? That day when you decided I'm gonna be a Michigan Wolverine?
Man, it was an amazing day. Like I was so happy that entire day because, I was thinking about it. I already went to Michigan like 3 times. I saw a game. I was like, man, I really see myself going and playing here. And this recruiting staff was amazing. Coach Bellamy, Coach Moore, head coach, wide receiver coach, like they were amazing, and they're always had their foot in the door in my recruiting process, calling me whenever. Everybody on the recruiting staff calling me whenever, and it's like genuine love. And when my parents got up there, they loved it too, because that was my dad's dream school. Michigan was, and
Oh, that's
when
so dope.
and me and him went twice before we went for a spring practice, and then me and him went for the summer barbecue like workout with all the other commits. And then we came back a third time for a game with my mom now. Not little bro yet. He had a football game. We couldn't let him miss that. So he came. My mom came with us, and she was like, "I love it." And they treated my parents so well, so nice, and everybody out there just wants each other to win. Really, that's kind of what like showed me and pushed me to like, oh yeah, this is my home now, and I want to make my mark and leave a stamp on Ann Arbor. So picking up that phone was really easy, to be honest. That day, I was smiling ear to ear.
What did little bro think the day you told him, "Hey, I'm committing"?
So so really, I didn't tell him because I kind of wanted to keep it like low so, until they post the edit, because I didn't want all getting out, and then it kind of takes away the surprise. Because
Yeah.
like told him, like I told him like right before he went to school, because the post was coming out right before he got to school. So I was like, all right, you're not finna go tell everybody before I tell everybody. And I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah. He gonna be too excited. He gonna be way
like,
too
what?
happy.
He's like, what? You committed? You committed? I'm so proud of you, man. I was like, yeah. So, just sharing that moment with him was awesome. Cause I'm like, it's gonna be you in a couple short years, man. So, just taking him through that process with me has been awesome, and my family too, because my dad's gone through it, so he's seen it firsthand and how it should look like. And Michigan was showing a lot of love from the beginning, from when I got that offer in like February. So they've always been showing love, showing real interest, and it was just that time. And like I said, picking up the phone was made so much easier.
We see Coach Moore has done he did a fantastic job last year. That culture does not seem like it's changed at all. But behind the scenes, we see he is full of passion. He looks like the football coach you want to run through a wall for. Like that
Oh
man
yeah.
get to talking and you like, all right, put a helmet on me now. But for those of us that haven't gotten to get to know him, what is Coach Moore like? That passion that we see on the football field, is that easy to see just in an everyday conversation as well?
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's very passionate about what he loves, and he's a great guy. I've been talking to him for a while now. Like I said, getting on the phone with him, and every time I see him, he always has a big smile. So, he's just a great person, a great competitor. A man of God like myself, and somebody who's not afraid to preach it, and stands by his faith. And he, like you said, he gets people run through a wall for him. So he's a great motivator. He's amazing. Like that culture just never changed. And you saw when he stepped in last year and got those games when Harbaugh was suspended, and it never looked like a drop off. So he's an amazing coach, and he's somebody I'd love to play for, and I'm so grateful that I get the chance to play for him.
That's one of the things that was so impressive to me last year is from the top to the bottom, it looked like nobody was phased. It looked like the entire program was like, "Oh, y'all just don't know about Coach Moore, but we do." Nobody
Yeah,
seemed phased. It just seemed like everyone at Michigan was like, "Oh no," like, "Oh." And then you got to realize, like, "Oh, they don't know who he is, but we're fine." And then you start to see week after week, like, "Oh, okay, maybe there's a reason Harbaugh is saying we're good, and everyone at Michigan is not panicking. There's not a pundit, nobody on Twitter is like the season is over. They was like, all right, like the train gonna keep on rolling. So
yeah,
and you see that passion from him this year. Now that you get to see, we're getting to learn more about him as we see more interviews about him. And you're like, okay, I get it. I see why.
yeah.
I see why people last year was like, oh, it's time to turn up now. Like y'all got no idea. So I understand now. And for those of y'all that have not seen his film, and y'all are like, all right, but what we getting at Michigan? First question I got for you: the acrobatic catches. Do you have a favorite?
um,
Because there's this one.
Probably.
You got the Moss on the other side of the field this year so far. Is there one play that sticks out for you this year where it's like, yeah, this one was crazy?
Um, Probably that one against Liberty, because we didn't have the best first half, but we came out firing that second half. We held them like 7 points that first half. I mean that second half, we came out firing. I scored a touchdown. Boom, get a stop. Came back. I scored another touchdown. And that their sideline was like it was going crazy the entire game. But as soon as I scored that heads-out touchdown, their sideline just went quiet, and it
Oh yeah,
was just
silence.
all you could hear was our side. And like that feeling was just so amazing. Like just having that ability to silence a whole side of the crowd that thought they had it, and just being like, yeah, like we here. And so that's probably one of my favorite most favorite catches. And always going over top of somebody cool, and elevating and get those feet in bounds.
Are you a former hooper, Jaylen?
Yeah, hoop. Yeah, hoop.
I was gonna say you dunk. Clearly, we got
I
to.
I mean, always punch it. That's the art of the
Have you
head.
always been able to jump out the gym like this? Has this just been natural for you?
I think it was. I think I started being able to dunk like ninth grade, because that's I think eighth grade going into ninth grade. I started weight training more seriously, and get
Ah.
more my legs. And I think that's when I kind of was like, okay, I can jump a little bit now. And just like I said, the art of the jump ball is really just trying to dunk. Like you're really trying to dunk on somebody.
We're gonna see a few dunks. And what we're gonna see a lot too is beating double teams. Do you feel like this year coming into this year, you knew it's gonna be a corner in front of me and a safety over the top every week?
Yeah, after the first game, I kind of already knew what it was going to be. Because I mean they most of the teams tried to do one on one, but after I score a touchdown on them, they get out of that real quick,
Yeah,
real
they're
quick.
not ain't no defensive coordinator about to lose their job behind two. Nah, he
Yeah.
about to, he got to do something. Do you feel like you had to adjust your game and how you release off the ball and the different looks you give when they started doubling and shading to your side more?
Oh yeah, obviously, obviously. Just being have my eyes more open around the field. Analyzing more things, and it's easier to beat one on one coverage, obviously. But now you beat somebody. Now you got to beat another person, and that person has a 10-yard head start and already started backpedaling. So just playing with leverage and playing with their like eyes and head and shoulders, and it all comes together. And that's stuff that my guy Coach Hooks has been always teaching me. And we've been preparing for the double team since the start of the summer, I would like to say. So I mean, it was during the summer, but after that first game, after I kind of had that I think it's the last video on this, has me going over two people and ripping the ball away. And after that, Coach Hooks, I went on there on Sunday that same week. He's like, all right, now we got to work on that double team.
He
Like
knew
the
it. He saw
he knew.
that catch. He was like, all right, that's the last time you're gonna get man this year, bro. They're never doing that again.
Oh yeah, and I was just like, all right, let's get to work. And having been able to work with him, and I got a couple other teammates that go to Hooks with him, and just kind of making that timing with him. Like, okay, if I'm getting double team, I'm gonna need a little bit more time, so I'm gonna need you to give him a little something at the top of the route, so I can kind of pick the guy you're on, and we can like kind of set a pick for each other. So regardless, both of us are gonna be open. Really, and it's just kind of just working with our teammates and working on it in practice. Scout team gives us good looks. And they give a good job shading and double covering me. So it's just really it's an entire village coming together for our team, and not just me, and for everybody, regardless of game plan scheme. And it's just a fun place.
So you've mentioned Coach Hooks a couple times here, and the reason I'm gonna keep rewinding this is this release is absolutely beautiful, but not just this release. If we look previous play, the way you can track the ball down in the open field. As a speedster, as someone that can blow past everybody, you still run your routes very precise, very crisp. Everything looks like you care about every detail. Speak to that work that you've been putting in with Coach Hooks and how valuable that's been, having him build up to the receiver that we get to see now. We get to see a nasty release like this, create instant separation, and give your quarterback a fantastic look. But that comes from the work y'all put in. So speak to that work and how you've had an evolution as a receiver with him as your receiver coach.
Well, like I've been saying, like he's the best in the country. I mean, he works with all the top players. He works with Evan Stewart while he was in high school, Marvin Mims in high school. So kind of just watching them and sitting in on some of their sessions, the top 2025 guys too, and just watching them do it and how smooth they do it. It's like, oh yeah, man, I can do that. And then Coach just put a little bit of like seasoning on it, saying, oh yeah, that step was good, but I need more power. And just things like that. You could see how I kind of froze him, because I think a couple plays before, he was kind of just like sitting. He was sitting on it. So I was like, okay, let me just speed him up a little bit, because I kind of froze him. I was like, all right, now it's time to go. So I'm like, I see it. I tried to do it one more time, but he kind of played it weird during that game. And then I was like, all right, red zone. They're gonna probably try to get that safety over, because they know they can't leave him over there with me. So whatever I got to do, I got to speed him up, because he's trying to be patient. And if I try to dance with somebody, that's giving him enough time. Because you saw the
For
safety,
that
he got over there.
safety. Yep.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna
And
lie,
he got over there.
he got over there pretty quick. And I could see him do it kind of like right as the snap going. They're going over there to try to cloud me, and I'm like, all right, now I got to speed up. Now I got to speed up. So really, it's just kind of being able to recognize the coverages and seeing what they're giving me and taking what they're giving me. Pause.
When did the game start slowing down for you, Jaylen? Because the way that you're able to line up against this corner and process, like you're Iron Man going, all right. So earlier I gave him the inside jab, right? And he bit
Yeah.
on that. But then I tried to give him the inside jab again, and he was patient. All right. And now I'm noticing, all right, he's shading to my side. This is not a too high shot. He definitely coming to this side. You're doing all this pre-snap, and it makes it the way I'm explaining this for people in the chat. It seems like he's got 10 seconds. He does not. He's got down, go. When did the game start slowing down for you to where you can process mid-player pre-snap that quick, break down what's about to happen to you, and then understand what you're gonna do to beat it?
So really, it kind of started slowing down for me last year. Cause before that, I was just like, oh yeah, I play Madden. I know what cover 2 is. I know what cover 3 is. Man, get that out of my face. I know what that is. And then, I'm like, yeah, they're lined up in cover 2, so they're gonna run cover 2. Nope, they're running cover 3 now. They're dropping one guy to spy, and now there's 2 corners are bailing. They're bringing underneath coverage and trying to wall players. So I'm like, all right, now I kind of have to figure out how to run my routes. And it's like, just wanting to get open. Really, that's kind of how I had to figure out how to slow the game down. Like, I don't like getting their hands on me, so I'm gonna figure out what they're doing, and I'm gonna figure out some way how to combat it. And just breaking down film with my dad, because he was a former DB, and when you hear from somebody who played in the NFL, been to the highest level, made his mark in college, all pro or not all pro, all college, whatever, first team, all big, whatever it was. I forgot which league it was before the ACC when Virginia Tech joined, but
Big
you get what I'm.
East. The
Big
Big
East, that's
East back in the day, baby.
Big East. Yep. So, just kind of seeing him go through that and being able to, replicate it to me and, show that to me was kind of huge. So I was like, yeah, I definitely need to get in with him and, kind of just sit down and learn the game. And that's when it kind of slowed down.
Another thing I love when I watch your film is the connection you and your quarterback has. He seems like he understands and trusts you more than another man has ever trusted another man. Speak to what that trust is like and what that relationship is like when you're quarterback. Before a play like this, do y'all have that kind of relationship where he can look at you a certain way and you know exactly what he wants?
Oh, really, it kind of just happened last year. So when I started, I think what was it? What week did I score? Because I didn't play the first 5 games because there was something going on. You ain't always gonna be that healthy, and hamstring starting to tighten up. So I didn't really
Tighten
start
up.
playing, starting to play until like my 6th game, and I came in and started my first game back, and on the first drive he threw me like 2 fades. I was like, okay, he got a lot of trust. This is my first game back. He's throwing me fade balls that he don't even throw to some of the people that have been playing. So I'm just like, asked him like, you're throwing that? He's like, yeah, of course. I was like, all right, bet. And so we just been kind of building off of that. And whenever he sees a matchup, he'll just look at me. And like you said, we got a little look. He looks at me. I'm like, all right, bet. And that's when
You know.
that ball's coming. So you just got to be ready. And it's gonna be in the bucket every single time, like you saw this week. That ball is right on the money.
Oh,
All I gotta do is
threw
put my
you one down the sideline, bro. That beat double coverage.
yeah.
Something crazy. He could not have ran and handed you that thing any better.
I mean,
Like now you giving him the space and the separation. It was excellent all the way around, but he also has to make that throw. That ball, when I say he could not have walked over and been like, here you go, bro, any better than he threw that thing. And then you see here, he know a safety's coming over the top, right?
Yep.
So he makes sure it puts that ball in a position only where you can catch it, and then you can protect yourself as well. Bracketed you, but he understands. I know my guy. I know he gonna get body positioned on the corner. He gonna make sure this corner got to go through him to make this play. And I know he's not worried about the safety coming down. That is ultimate trust in a receiver. Then the bully ball after.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
ain't no little dude. That's all I'm gonna say.
What's it like after a play like this? All right, when you balling, are we talking after a play like this?
I mean, not really, cause I don't let anybody take out my element. You know what I'm saying? Or take me out of my element. And I just kind of just keep to myself. I'm like, yeah, it's a good play, but I'm always thinking about the next play. I never try to get too high on a play or too low. It's kind of finding that good middle ground to where, oh yeah, that was hype, but now I got to go and replicate
But
that and
now,
go.
yeah. Where
So
does
it's
that
always
come from, Jalen? That's so mature, because especially from some we see we watching the highlights now. It ain't no secret as to what's going on a football field. It's easy to go, I'm him, and to want to celebrate and to throw it in somebody's face. But you're still thinking of, all right, what's next? What can I do better next? Did he shade me inside? Now I got to do something different the next time we come back out here. Where does that come from? That very grounded way of approaching the game.
well, that comes from my parents, and just the way they kind of raised me. And since I was young, I mean, it was like I would make a good play. I'm like, oh yeah, you see that, guys? They'd be like, yeah. Now go do another play. I need another big play from you. It's not just one and done. I need every play. Every play needs to be a big play. And I'm like, okay. And I didn't understand that when I was younger. I was like, what you mean? I just made 3 kids touch
I
the
just
ground. Like,
I just
come on.
broke ankles. I'm pretty sure they pulled his scholarship because of what I did to him. Like y'all, and then I like
Just
that though. I love that.
yeah. So just always knowing, and it kind of hit me when I was getting like older. Like, okay, yeah, that's cool, but I want more. I want more. I want more. I want more catches. I want more touchdowns. Like, one's cool, but two's a whole lot cooler, and three's even better.
And three even better. Three
So
even
it's
better
just
because at this point now the defense happy. Everybody happy with you. Everybody happy. Everybody like, yeah, two going off. Now your defensive ends and the linebackers on the other side get to pin their ears back. They get to get sacks, which gives them highlights. It gets them recruited. The whole team happy now that Jalen done went off.
yeah. The only time they don't like is when they just come off a drive and then they just throw me the ball and I score and that's a
And
play. Like,
it's a 70-yard go ball. They're like, come on, bro. You can break that
that's
thing down into 4 or
that's
5 catches.
that's the only time they get a little mad because that I think it was that play where I tracked it going kind of from the bottom of the numbers, kind of like the hashes in between it a little bit, and I caught it. So that was right before halftime. Literally, that was the play on
Oh
offense
no.
right half, and I like 3 seconds left. So we had to go call our America team out. Where like I'm at safety. Me and my other friend that plays receiver too is at safety, and they're like, "Bro, you scored way too fast, man."
Yeah, it was like you got to get out there. You got you got to get out there. We're doing halftime adjustments. We thought we were about to be doing halftime adjustments. Now you got to
Yeah,
get out there and play safety.
hey, and I got no
Well,
problem playing safe. I
the
got no problem.
interesting part of the way you attack not just recruiting when we talked about recruiting, but the way you attack football too. It's a very mature way of looking at the game. It's a very business way of looking at the game. It's almost as if you do understand that the game is bigger than you. So I was gonna ask why Michigan, and now I'm realizing it's not a why Michigan. Michigan looked at Jalen and was like, got to have him, and I'm understanding why. I say it all the time. You can't build championship culture without having championship players. They came off
Mhm.
that national championship and realized they have to keep that rolling. How do you keep that rolling? You land young men like this. You land young men that have a buck 78 and want more. Not because he's selfish, but because he just wants more, because he knows it can always be better. You land someone who's
Sure.
cooking everybody as a sophomore, but then goes, man, let me really tap in and really start dissecting coverages. Already blowing past DBs, but decided I can be better. You win another national championship when you get a star receiver that says it's not all about me. That
Yes, sir.
that's why Moore was knocking down the door. That's why Bellamy was knocking down the door. Because when you put a young man like this in your locker room, everybody gets better. The entire receiver room gets better. Because I guarantee you go hard in practice. So the DBs get better, the safeties get better. Everyone is better because you have a young man like Jalen in your locker room. That's why Michigan called constantly. That's why the reigning national champions still looked at a 26 receiver and said, it may be early in the class, but I've identified one of us, a winner, someone who's a winner on the field and out and off the field. You mentioned being a good student. I didn't even have to say, hey, Jalen, we want to make sure you sound like a good. I said, hey, what are some of the things important in you? Well, first off, in my school, I got to be a good student. These things are why Michigan came knocking. And that's why Michigan's going to continue to be successful when they land young men that are not going to settle for being great when I could be generational. You're
Yes, sir.
never gonna settle. That to me, that's a trait that you can't put into somebody. You can't teach somebody to be a dog. I'm not talking about a dog on the field. I'm talking about a dog when you benching, when you squatting, when you running. That dude that wants an extra rep, not that you have to tell him to do an extra rep. That's how you build winners, because that's infectious. You're gonna leave that school, bro. You're gonna be gone from Paris in 26. But let me tell you what's gonna happen. Somebody gonna lollygag on a route or something, and somebody gonna stop them and go, Jaylen never did that. We never did that here, bro. We had a star receiver here, and they gonna say, well, I got this so and so offer. So did he. He had every offer, and he still ran hard. He was still the first one here, the last one here. He still watched film. He still helped out the young guys. That kind of legacy, the way you carry yourselves, that's going to be in that receiver room for years to come. Because let me tell you something, bro. There's a freshman in that receiver room. There's a freshman at that school going, how does Jaylen do it? Let me do it exactly like him. All right. He makes sure he does all his schoolwork. He studies. Oh, he gets straight A's. I got to get straight A's too. Because I want to wear two. I want to have highlights. I want to have people watching my film with me. That the way you carry yourself, it's great for you, and your father and your parents have built a fantastic young man that a college can look at and say, I need this to build a championship. But what it's also done is it's left a legacy that you
Yeah.
unintentionally left. So I had to give you your props on that as well, because there's young men watching you, and they're now gonna understand how to do it the right way because they watched you do it the right way.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that so much, man. That means a lot. That's really just what I want to do. I want to be that guy to those freshmen and those sophomores who they look up to and say, man, I want to be just like him. I want to run my routes like him. I want to do that. I want to be good at school and also balance football, but still have fun with my friends like him. Because I mean, I was in that spot too. I was a little fish in the big pond, and seeing everybody, like I said, like the Evan Stewarts, he's class of 2023, or was he 2022? He might have been 2023.
Three, right? Two or three.
Yeah, getting off track, but seeing them work out, and I'm like, yo, I want to be like them. I think I can do it. Just getting there and just seeing them and seeing how, because all Hooks guys are humble. From the sixth graders he trains all the way to the NFL, they're all humble, and they all just have so many good tidbits and just telling you like what it is and what it isn't, and like, oh yeah, because they can help with your recruiting process too. Like they've gone through it.
Yes,
They've seen it
100%.
just BSing in your face, trying to get you to come there and just to say, oh yeah, I got so and so to commit here. All right, yeah, you cool now. I'm not gonna talk to you no more.
They can tell you the things that you're not used to even looking out for. Hey, when you go on this visit, they like to do X,
Exactly.
Y, and Z. Ask them to really show you the playbook, or ask them to, or just when you're like, hey, I'm trying to get down here, they can tell you when something's BS or when something's not. They can tell you when, oh no, hey, you're overreacting. This is actually a good thing. Or this,
Yeah.
you got those people in your corner. Another thing I like that you said is, now a young kid thinks it's possible. Scratch that. Your little brother. Nobody can tell him your dream ain't
Oh,
possible. Nobody. When he says, I want to be a college football player, NFL football player, someone says, well, that can't happen. Why not? Big brother at Michigan. What are you talking about? All it takes is hard work. I've seen it. I sat there and watched him. You can't tell him nothing now. If he decided tomorrow, I think I want to be an astronaut, who's going to tell him he can't? Because he watched his big brother say, I want to be a D1 athlete, and he did it. So nobody going to be able to tell him that. All he knows is, if I put in the work and I take it serious, I can accomplish my dreams, because I sat here and watched my brother accomplish his dreams. So that's
exactly.
why the way you carry yourself, it's huge, because that trickles down to the next generation. And then when he at practice, he not letting nobody lollygag, because his example of hard work is his brother, and his brother work hard. So what the best player on the team gonna tell him? I don't run because I ain't the best player, but my brother the best player. He runs, so you gotta run. That's what I mean by that legacy is going to carry on. You're going to be at Michigan dotting up and destroying USC, and there's still going to be a kid in Texas, in Dallas, Texas, running his route, going, how did Jaylen run his hitches? How did he run his slants? He always ran routes after, right? That's how he had the chemistry with the quarterback. So I'm going to make sure I do that. That legacy is going to be there. Bro, thank you so much for coming on here. I enjoyed the film even before this. That's the first time I watched it. I was like, DM, come here. Like, we got to sit down and watch this. And next year, after you cook up a whole nother set of DBs, we're gonna have you back on here so we can watch that film and we can talk about it. But before then, let everybody know where they can follow you, because I guarantee you there's people watching this that are not Michigan fans that are now gonna want to watch Michigan football when you get there. So let them know where they can follow you.
Yeah, they can follow me on Instagram at Jaylen Pile _2026 and on Twitter, Jaylen Pile 2026. And, just I appreciate being on here. I love breaking down film. I love talking about football. And, combining those two things, it's like a match made in heaven. So, I just really appreciate it. And I can't wait to be back on here.
Anytime. If after the playoffs, if you're like, hey, big bro, I had a ridiculous playoff game. Let's watch this. Hit me up and we on. If it's, hey, I just feel like talking for 10 minutes. Hit me up and we on. Hey, I had a crazy 7-on-7 game. Hit me up and we on. You always welcome, bro.
Might see me on a little OT17. Shoot, who knows? I might try to get on some OT7 stuff.
I'm out here in Texas. Let me know and we coming out to support. Let me know, Brody. And I have to get out there for a game next year too. I got to get up out there because I'm out in Houston, so I'm not too far from you.
Okay.
Yeah, so I got high school football down here is the truth. So if you do anything 7-on-7 this year, let me know. I'm gonna pull up and support for sure.
Bet.
Hey, go follow bro right now. Do not wait till y'all see me post another highlight and y'all go, what's Jaylen at? His at is gonna be in the description. Go follow him now, and his huddles down there too. They'll break him down game by game. If you're looking at his schedule, you see who they playing this week. You like, oh, he playing against this DB. I got to see that. His huddle is down in the description, so you can watch all of those. Again, thank you so much, bro, for coming on. You are more than welcome anytime. I wish you nothing but good health and success. Get healthy this bye week. I hope the squad goes on a run and y'all get that ring this year.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that.
Like, share, and subscribe. Go follow bro right now. We out.